Good morning and welcome to Buttermere. A very dull, slightly damp, and very cloudy Buttermere. If I was coming for the light these next couple of days, then I'm not particularly sure I'm going to get it. But I'm back and I've come up predominantly, so it's a bit early, predominantly to try a few more images at Buttermere, but I'm also going to try a couple of images just a little further afield and perhaps revisit a couple from a previous video as well. But yeah, so I'm back. It's now towards the end of October, so we've plenty of colours around. You can't see them in this light. We're getting closer to sunrise, though I think it's going to take a bit longer for the sun to get onto Buttermere because of the mountains and hills around. But hey ho, mountain about, ready for it. I'm just having a little wander around, although I do know what I'm going to capture this morning. So I came out yesterday afternoon when I got here, had a quick scout around, but I'm just having a wander around waiting for some light. I'm heading towards that waterfall. Just have a quick look. There was a little image I did yesterday that I want to redo, although the light's not quite, well, it's nowhere near bright enough at the moment. But as I was just walking across this bridge, doing a little bit of B-roll, I just noticed a nice little scene just involving some of these branches from the trees. So I'm going to get myself set up and give those a go. Okay, that's the first image of the day in the bag. Admittedly, this scene would probably look a hell of a lot better with either some really nice light, golden light, possibly sunset, and possibly early morning with a bit of mist, but got to work with what you've got. So just quickly go over the settings for the camera because I've already taken the images. About 35mm focal length, or just under, probably about 34 actually. The image I've just done is actually at f8 and I've underexposed, so I wanted a bit darker, or wanted the scene a bit darker than what came out on the first image. because I metered that just for the light as it is, and it came out a bit bright. I thought the scene would just look a bit better being a bit darker. So for this exposure, it's on 4 seconds. I've actually bracketed as well. Only a couple of other issues I've probably got with this is that it's a little bit breezy. Although it has died down now, so once it's died down, I'll just take another set of images. But yeah, the last couple of sets it was quite breezy, the leaves were blown around a bit. I also think if I'd have had a few more leaves on the trees, it probably would have looked a bit better. But hey ho. Anyway, that's the first image in the bag, and I think rather than head off to the waterfall, because it's still a bit too dull. I can't speak this morning. And it's not even particularly early, it's only just about 7 o'clock. So I'm going to head round Buttermere to what is one of the more classic shots. I think it's a lone tree. I apparently walked past it yesterday but didn't see it. I spotted it on the map this morning, so I'm going to go and have a look at that. Wow, oh, hang on, let's just get this screen out so I can see that you can see me. Right, this appears to be the lonely tree. I can't say I'm very impressed. I'm sure it's a very nice tree, don't know it that well. But to me, it's too big. It's too big, it's too skinny. There's no leaves on it, obviously it's getting into autumn now, so that's to be expected. But also, I'm not sure I can do anything with it. It just seems to intersect with all the skylines, or skyline, all the way around, and I don't know, it's just not doing it for me. Really don't know what to make of it. I mean, I imagine if the light was better, these trees over here and even way back over here would look really, really nice, but I don't know if the tree would actually add anything to the scene. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just the fact that it's early and I'm just not feeling it. But no, really can't be dealing with that one. Maybe if the light was better I might feel differently, but I don't know. However, let me just pick up my brolly. Just a little way down here is there's an old tree trunk, or old tree, with still some branches coming off it. I don't know if they get any leaves or anything. Sometimes you do, don't you? But this to me is far more interesting, and if you had some mist, this would look really good, pretty spooky I think. I'll just turn you around. There you go. I haven't got to see yet, I'll get a bit closer. But we have this tree here, which I think looks kind of like some kind of deformed human or animal. And you can see front legs here, its face here, or its head here, and then you've got these kind of like antler things, and its body and its back legs here. And I think that would make for a far more interesting image. You're not going to see it with that thing over there, but just not the right conditions for this. Let's take it back round. There we go. So yeah, as I say, I think this makes a far more interesting subject. And then just a little bit further up here, my daily exercise. Excuse the camera wobble. Yeah. So all along this shore you've got trees with lots of gnarly tree roots, which I'm sure if I spent the time I could do something with, but I'm not going to today. Instead, another little image I saw. In fact, I'll show you what I first saw. Just done the rally. Right, what I first saw was this. So basically you can see it's kind of frame, but when you look in the middle of it, not much by way of interesting subject. However, if you come back round the trees, and down here you've got another frame in there, a bit low enough, and in the distance, although you can't really see it that well, you can see the little white building that sits on the far shore of Buttermere. So I think, again, get the right light, excuse me, sorry, again get the right light, particularly right over there, nice bit of golden glow or early morning sun. That would make for a nice little framed image with these trees. But again, I'm not going to waste my time doing that today. Right, so as it's now a bit lighter, I'm going to have a quick head back and look at a couple of scenes that I looked at earlier. One I did take a picture of. If I don't capture one this morning, my intention is to come back either later today or possibly tomorrow, so that, well, hopefully with some better light, so I can do justice. Oh, still can't talk. Yeah, so I can do some justice to those two little images. So I'm going to have a quick head back now and have a quick look, and meet you over there. Right, so I had to jump back in. Slight little detour back to where I'd just been. I decided I wanted to try and capture, there we go, capture the other side of Buttermere. It looks quite moody, and the clouds have moved in, or the rain has moved in a little bit more since I took the image. I've already done that. Well, it was starting to rain a bit more heavily, so I didn't bother filming that. But yeah, as I was walking back along the side of the water, I did notice one angle that I could get that lonely tree in without it intersecting the ridge of the mountain, and so I took that image. Used long lens, 70-200, and basically because of how close we are, it ended up being a pano. So I've done a couple of those. One's a 3 image and one's a 4 image, and hopefully they'll come out. I think regardless, I'll pop them up at some point anyway, so you can have a look. But I'm actually now going to head back to my hotel because, as I say, it's starting to rain a bit more heavily, and the light's not going to change anytime soon. So there are a couple of scenes that I was going to just have a quick revisit of. I'm not going to bother. Perhaps come back a bit later today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on whether we get any break in the cloud. But yeah, I'm off back to the hotel, have a bit of breakfast, and off out and about and see what I can find. Okay, catch you later. Morning, and welcome back to Buttermere. Ta-da! Yeah, so you've already seen in the footage, probably leading up to this. Right, it's day 2 of my quick little trip up to the lakes, and I've decided to start today with a revisit to Buttermere, just around the water, because there's a couple of images that I didn't get yesterday, basically because the rain prevented me from doing so, and also there's a couple of images that I want to revisit, as I've had a chance to think about them, and I just want to have another look at them. So fortunately, being close by, I'm able to do that, and we'll see where the rest of the day takes us. I've got a couple of ideas. it may be a revisit for a couple of places I went yesterday, because I'm definitely not happy with the images I got at Ashness Bridge, and I may revisit Barrydale Watermill again. I got some nice images, but unfortunately the one image I did get that I did really like, unfortunately was marred by a water spot. I've had a little play in Lightroom and I've kind of mitigated that so far, but I'd like to go back and try it again. Although with it not being raining or being rainy today, I might not get the same atmospheric conditions that I got yesterday. Yeah, that was quite nice. So I'm going to crack on and see what I can get. Right, so unsurprisingly, there's been no sunlight. Well, the sun has risen. It is a lot lighter, but it's not really doing much of anything. Been having a bit of a play. Been here 20 or so minutes, just over. Was contending with a couple of other guys that were here doing their thing, and yeah, so it was a little bit limited with where I could go. Obviously didn't want to disturb them, they were here before me. Of course nobody wants to get in anybody else's way, but yeah, they've moved on now. It's a lot lighter than it was in just 20 minutes. It's amazing. Yesterday when I was here, I was struggling with this tree and couldn't think of what to do with it. I ended up doing a pano, but the pano had the tree right on the left hand side and just all this scenery behind. It was a bit moody. Not sure I particularly liked the image. Looked better in black and white, but the composition was just off. Wasn't very balanced at all. But come down this morning and had another crack at it, and I think I've got a couple of nice images. Got the tree, and then we got the where are we? Just over there. Not very good with my camera directions. Is Honester Pass, and I've kind of got this tree sat sort of in the middle of that. About halfway up the tree is where it then kind of intersects the skyline, and I've got the branch on the right hand side is actually going up over the mountain distance, so it doesn't encroach on the mountain at all. I think it looks okay. Definitely going to be a black and white image, and the only thing that I don't like about it, and might have a go at sorting out in Photoshop, is just down here there's some bits of reed and foliage and water grass, whatever it's called, it's just coming out of the water. I've also taken a couple of long exposure images just to try and flatten out the water a bit, just to bring out the reflection of the tree. Unfortunately the water isn't that still at the moment because there's a little bit of a breeze, but I might just blend the two images just to see how that makes the image look. But anyway, I think I'm about done here, so I'm going to head off to my next location and have another crack at that. Right.